Welcome to today's episode where we explore the evolving landscape of European democracy in a time of rapid change and growing challenges. Across Europe, citizens, institutions and communities are rethinking how democracy can remain resilient, inclusive and relevant in the digital age. In this context, the Fit4Euro project was created, an initiative designed to strengthen democratic participation by combining civic engagement, innovation and collaboration. In this episode, we take a closer look at how the project began, the first steps that shaped its direction, and the new role technologies play in connecting people and ideas across borders. We also discuss why building strong partnerships is essential for this initiative and how collective action can help shape the future of democracy in Europe. So, without further ado, let me present you my guest from today's podcast, being Carmen Stadelhofer, Academic Director at Institute for Adult Education at University of Ulm in Germany, and in the same time, founder of the project Fit4Democracy and the Association for Danube Networks for Europe and the Institute for Virtual and Real Learning for Adults. Thank you very much for accepting my invite.
Hello. Fine to be with you.
So before we dive into today's topic, I would like to ask you to briefly tell us a couple of words about you, about the motives for being involved in so many projects that connect communities across all Europe.
Mm-hmm. As you said, I was the president of an Institute of Adult Education, and I was always passionate in developing new projects, in participating methods, and not only in Germany, but crossing all Europe. And I created in 2002 a big network. It was called Learning Later Life. And then I discovered in 2007 that there had been participants from 21 countries, but not one from the southeast of Europe. And I discovered also that I'm as convinced European, had been half European because I had a lack of knowledge about the southeast countries. And so I started an initiative to create a new network concentrated on the southeast along the Danube countries. And I think this is a very important thing because we discovered that we don't know so much about each other in west and east and southeast. And there are a lot of mental barriers and a lot of prejudices, but we have also a lot of common history and common culture and so on. And so I decided after my pension, it was at the end of 12, to concentrate my free time, and it's more than a full job, to develop and to widespread this idea to be in contact with people from east, southeast and west to know each other better.
Across the years, you had many interesting projects, as far as I've read doing my research for this podcast. But the project we are going to talk today, it's connected with European democracy, and I would like to ask you, when we talk about European democracy, what are the first words that come into your mind?
Democracy is a central value of what we name Europe, and we especially name European Union. Europe is a geographically widespread area. It's a space with more than 700 million people living in Europe, and then 500 million or more are now in the European Union. And this European Union is based on values. And these values are very important. It's freedom of meaning, it's equality of rights, and so on. And now with this project, as you said, we made a lot of projects before. And with this new project, we like to focus these values, and we ask how we can live democracy, how we can foster it. As I said, we have a lot of common history. We have a lot of cooperation in politics, in economics, and in other parts. And our question was, what can we do, civil society, citizens, to foster this sense of unity, of a peaceful and solidarity Europe, and not only going to elections and to work in a political party, but what can we do, each of us, in the everyday life? And this project is about democracy and foster democracy in Europe by daily life.
From your point of view, what do you think are the biggest challenges citizens are facing right now?
There are a lot of problems, and the problems are in some countries different from others, but we have also common challenges. For the moment, I think we are all very moved by the war in Ukraine, this aggressive war, and how it will end it, or what can be the solution, and what this war means for Europe, for all of us. But besides this very central challenge and question for this moment, we have a lot of other things. How to react to migrants coming from east to west, but above all from other continents to Europe. How we can foster the transfer of knowledge by work, process and mobility, and how we can handle all challenges with new technologies, especially the artificial intelligence. And then we have to reflect what we have in common and how we can fostering this common heritage we have and to be more aware of, and so on and so on. And one of the big challenges is always the language barrier, because, for example, Germany, we have working in the Danube region with 14 countries. We have only with Austria the same language, and then we have no idea about the other languages. And I saw that in your countries, a lot of people from different countries have some Slavian basis of language knowledge, and so they can understand. But when I'm in Romania, I discover that the people of Romania have the same problem as we have when we are together with Bulgarians and so on. And so I think we have to reflect how to overcome these language barriers, because to have a good understanding, that means also to understand each other. This is a big challenge. We work on this since a lot of years, and we developed an online platform accessible to 14 different languages. So when we make a written exchange, it's easy to approach, because we can get all messages in our home language and also reply in the home language, and the others will have the answers in their mother language. For speaking, now we have also advantages. We have the mobiles with translation function, and I think all what is called artificial intelligence is promoting to help us to overcome these barriers of language.
Okay, we have arrived a bit faster to the next question. But as I've said earlier, when I was doing my research for this podcast, I've surfed on your site, and I was pleasantly surprised about using the AI in generating a statement for the association, for the movement. And I would like to ask you, how did the use of AI come into place, transmitting information about democracy, and how can we understand it?
Mm-hmm. I have to say that since 98 of the last century, we are involved in the new technologies. We discovered internet and all the possibilities to be in contact with others rapidly and without big costs. And in this time, the technologies developed in a rapidly way. Now we can meet us also by video conference, as we do today. We can hear us, we can read us, we can translate, and so on. And I think if adult education, general adult education made for civil society citizens, has to follow all these developments to be included in what is going on in the world, and to take profit of all means of digital tools, technologies, and also to be aware that there are also dangers, as fake news and so on. And so it's clear, trying to follow all these developments, digital developments, we discovered also artificial intelligence and ATAVA and so on. Avatar is making speeches rapidly translating in other languages, and you can explain conferences or translate conferences by avatars, but you must be aware also that avatar is an artificial thing, and it can be influenced in this way or another way. And so we have not only the techniques and the contents, but we have also to look for the ethic.
I see. Do I understand that? Can we understand that this project is addressed to the younger generations, or there is not a age barrier, let's say?
We are coming from the seniors education, and we started in Ulm, where I'm coming from, in 1999 to educate seniors how to use internet. And what was really hard at this time, because to use internet for all of us not being technicians was terrible. It was really all was in English and all was complicated. But we started with a group of seniors, and then we started to widespread the use of internet to a lot of seniors, first in Germany and then in other countries, because we had been convinced to follow in this development of society, we have to learn it. And then we took profit of these new technologies to be in contact between us, beyond Europe, and especially in the Danube region. And when Corona had been, it was really so fine that we had this good practice, because everybody had been at home and a little bit alone. And by video conferences, we made all 2 weeks, and by conversation courses, by lectures and so on, we met, and we had been informed by important subjects, but we also took this means to make activities on our own. The come-together sessions, for example, all the time there are people from different countries, but the actors are also come from different countries, by poems, by songs, by presentations, and so on. And so step by step, we discovered that this is a richness, and it's against isolation, and it's to get new friends, not only in my own town, but in all Europe, if I like to do it and to have it. And so step by step we advanced, and we discovered that also young people are interested to be in contact with others. And so we opened all our activities to youngers, and now we are crossing generations, if you if you understand what I mean. And now we have projects especially for bringing together young and older. For example, we have students from Ukraine. They are learning German, but for the moment they are unable to speak German with someone in Ukraine because of war. And so we opened the door, or in this case, we opened Zoom, and we formed tandems, and we have a lot of tandems, young Ukrainian students and older seniors, German seniors, speaking in German about Germany and a lot of aspects of life. But the German seniors can also ask about the life in Ukraine, not only about now. We read a lot in the journal, but about the history, about the culture, about the education, and so on and so on. And so I think it brings together people to overcome barriers of language, but also barriers of mind, and to form a good community of people with the same interest, with the wish of togetherness in a European awareness, and so on.
Okay, my next question maybe sounds a bit more like a marketing question, but what differentiates Fit4Democracy project from other civic projects running right now in Europe?
We made a lot of projects, and you can follow this project in our website or websites, I have to say. But this democracy project is really concentrated on what can we do ourselves by little steps to improve democracy in the everyday life. It can be in social affairs, it can be in education, it can be in ecology or whatever. And we can make experience ourselves, or we can have a good look what are doing the others, and to make known this good practice, and perhaps inspire other people to do it.
In the life of the idea for the Fit4Democracy project, when was that moment when you thought, yes, this is a project that might attract many people from around Europe? When was it? What was the element that sparked the movement?
I think this is a long way. All what we did until now is based on democratic values and on participation and on European awareness. So we are prepared. But now we think that in this moment of life and of state of politics and so, it's especially very important to speak about and to make known that democracy is in risk, and that we all take profit of democracy systems. And when we take profit, we have also to safeguard them. And these values in the West, at least, it's an everyday thing, it's normal, and young people don't think about, because there are no frontiers anymore, and we have the same money, and I can go wherever I like to go, and I have bosses for stipendium for, and so on. And we like to make known two things, that this is not coming from heaven without nothing. It's a thing which was built up after the war, the Second World War, with a lot of work and empathy of some people. And now it seems normal for us, but it's normal in the everyday life, but it's not a normality we have forever. We have to safeguard, and it's especially also to make known young people. It's not starting in voting. Finally, it's starting in kindergarten, to learn to accept the others, to learn a good culture of discussion, to learn to accept other minds, and so on. And this is starting in family and in kindergarten and in preschool and so on. And so we have to reflect what can we do ourselves? And in the school, debate clubs, or good practice for climate protection, or there are a lot of things we can do. Also, care for elderly can be a good base of democratic reflection and attitude and so on. And so we decided to make known by examples, by good practice, and by ourselves and what we are doing, to make known that democracy is very near to us. And we have to look for peace and solidarity in our family, we have also to look for peace and solidarity in our European family. And we have to reflect what we are doing with the new members of this family, and how to welcome them and how to give them the chance to integrate. We had been very, very, involved in the integration of Ukrainians coming, now it's quasi 4 years ago, to Ulm. And what can we do? This was a big question, not only to give them hosting and to eat and to take clothes, or I don't know, whatever, but also to really give them the chance to be a member, a part of this, what we are living. And so we had a lot of activities. And I think the most important thing is that we are not deciding for others, but we decide with others what to do. And that we take notice of competences of all people. And that we take notice of inclusion. And that also people who have some restriction and handicaps have something to give and something to and they need. And so it's democracy for us. It's to give and to receive, and this is an active process in our life, but not a lonely process but a togetherness. And this project likes to show what we can do and what we have to do. And for this reason, we are just making a big campaign, I'm sure you have seen. It's Stand Up for Europe and Democracy. We ask people from all these countries to take a postcard in their hands. With this card, Stand Up for Europe and Democracy, take part in this digital action. And because we are convinced each voice matters. And then we ask people to send this photo with this card in their hands to us. We take it on the website. And so we have on the website togetherness of people of different countries. And then in the next Danube Festival, if you take part and others, we would be very glad. And we hope to get 1,000 people stand up. We stand up for democracy and Europe. This is a value, our values, which are very important for us, for our life, but also the life of the future generations. So it's worth to do something.
Okay, so we have around 5 minutes from this podcast, and I still have 2 questions for you, if I may. First of all, how did this project was received by the other countries from the European Union, from the Danube region? How was the project received by the others?
We have partners in all Danube countries, the countries really along the Danube, but also now included the 4 other countries counted as Danube countries, as Moldavia and Bosnia, for example. And in each country there had been people, as we are, very involved to foster this idea of democracy. And so it was clear that we are working together in different ways. We have lectures, we have come together sessions, we have actions locally, and so on. We have also a toolbox where good practice are collected. And now we made a competition, a video competition. It will end the 19th of December, where people can send to us small videos, 3 minutes maximum, with good example of democracy, making itself or demonstrating some good practice of others. And so I think, and we started, by the way, by the question, what Europe means for you? And when you are going to our website, you will have answers from people from all these countries. And it's very interesting to see that we have a lot in common concerning this question. And you can also ask in your family or your friends. And this is a base of a good discussion. What is good in Europe and what is for the moment not so good. And we hear everywhere that bureaucracy in Europe is not seen well over all the countries. And so what can we do with all this bureaucracy and to overcome this big task to fill out papers and papers and papers and to do something directly? And the online sessions give us some help to be in a direct exchange. But we have also countries where there are big problems as corruption or others. And so we would like to foster those who are standing up in their countries against corruption, against suppressing freedom of mass media, and so on and so on. So you see, based on the European values, there is a lot to do, and we look in all countries for people who have the same intention and the same willing, and we find it.
Okay, so we arrived at the end of this podcast, but for 2026, what are your plans for this project, for other projects?
Oh, we have a lot of plans, and it's always depending also on money, because our work is based on money of third parts coming from the European Commission or coming from ministries or foundations. So we have always to write applications, and then not all the time, but sometimes we have good luck and we can do something. The next step will be the Danube Festival in Ulm. This is a big festival with representatives of culture, music, but food, and but also a lot of conferences. All 2 years in Ulm. It's international, and in this frame we make the 9th meeting of the Danube Networkers, and we have a conference with the key topic, democracy needs all of us, but also with a lot of encounters of working groups and cultural programs and so on. And it will be in July, in the first 2 weeks, and our 3-day meetings will be the 9th to 11th of July.
Okay. Sadly, we have arrived at the end of this podcast, and I would like to thank you again for accepting my invite, and I hope in the future we can meet again in this fashion to discuss the new steps of the Fit4Democracy project.
This would be very fine. And thank you for the invitation, Mirko, and have a good evening.
Thank you very much.